Here we go. We're live.
Oh, yeah. What's up, folks? What's up? Y'all missed it. I just hit y'all with the ESPN trademark sound, excuse me. But, yeah, so we're just going to have to hit it with you again. Da-da-da, la-da-da.
We're going to get now. The show shut down. The show is shut down now. ESPN can call.
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? ESPN, go ahead and put it on my tag. Hey, what's up, bro? This is Thinking Twice, Going Solo Network, WGSN, man. Hey, and I'm your host, Mr. Twice. I got the Dean right here with me, man. That's all you need to know. The guy is phenomenal.
Did you see me do an impression of you last week or no? Did you watch?
No, matter of fact, I was caught all the way up.
So,
you did an impression of me?
First of all, I like people to know. So it's funny. So he goes to me, "Are you gonna sit in front of the camera?" And I go, Twice, like I don't know, like how do you feel about me like coming out on your show? He goes, "What are you talking? You're always on my show.
You're always there.
So why are you sitting over here? Just come sit. Don't hide it, So
right. I think that's a good shot anyway.
So last week you couldn't make it yet.
Apologies.
Talking about that. And I said two things that you missed. One was that I don't know if you know this, and Robbie, I don't know if you know this too. We have Robbie in the studio with us. I put on for you guys. Not only do I do my hair, but I put cologne on for you guys every time.
Now make sure you don't stink for it.
Yeah, so I don't put on. I have 3 tiers of cologne, right? So the third tier is like $200 a bottle, and that's like me and my girl going out for steak, right?
Yeah.
So that I'm not wearing with y'all.
Yeah.
The bottom tier is like work colognes, like a couple bucks to just spray it on, whatever.
Yeah.
But the middle tier is like kind of guys' night out, if we're gonna go hit the bar or something like that, or like if I weren't dating like a very special human, if I were going on somebody that I didn't know, like that would be like it's a mid tier. I put my mid tier cologne on for you this week. Yeah, so whenever I see you.
Is that what they mean when they say you're getting lucky?
That's exactly.
That's the lucky one.
That's the lucky one. And then so I pulled up the show and I tried to do a little bit of you, and I said, "What's happening, everybody?
Hey.
This is the Dean, Dr. Christopher Salute. If you don't call the doctor, then
don't call him at all.
I guess you don't. That's something. I know what I said.
That's just what it is. If you don't call him the doctor, don't call him. Don't address him. Period.
So that's what I did. I did an impression.
Period. Now, me and the doc. Hey, so we did this today, man. We know everyone's be feeling down sometimes. There's some down times, but we're here to bring up your spirits, man. So what I had proposed today was that we were going to talk about supreme confidence. Now, when I say supreme, I mean like you got all your veggies, your meats, your essential nutrients, everything that you want in your pizza, and everything that you want in your confidence too. But before we get to that, we got to get to what's in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you got to take out some of the stuff that's in the sauce that's not going to make the pizza good. You dig what I'm saying?
I'm Italian, so we say gravy. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to say sauce, you're going to say gravy.
But you put gravy on the bread.
No, so that's an Italian thing. It's when you talk about red sauce, it's gravy.
Gravy.
Yeah, but now some people still say sauce. So it's up to you.
Well, if your gravy is groovy, then we can keep it moving. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, but like I was saying, I was going to talk about supreme confidence, but when I was doing my research, I ended up coming along something that needs to be talked about and addressed before you get to talk to confidence. So we may be here quite a while, and what you have to remove before you can even talk about confidence are your insecurities.
Okay.
So insecurities are some of the biggest things that we have problems with in our whole life period.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're from the day we're born, from the way we're raised, and even some of our past relationships, anything that we've been in. But there is hope for you.
Yep.
If you do have a few insecurities that you are fighting, you put on others, or whatever the case may be, you don't got to do so. And I got a few ways for you to help out, or that can help you out. So you're going to love this. Speaking of insecurities, the first question is we got to find out is, where do insecurities come from?
That's like you ever see Analyze This music? That's like a question for the ages. You got to dig into the alien where the guy comes out of the stomach and goes, "Hey, I'm hungry."
Hey.
Yeah, but
That was perfect.
right?
That was yes.
That's what it is. I mean,
Yes.
you got to think about it. I mean, I'm the king. You know, I would say this. I would say that I probably seem like a very arrogant guy. And
We like arrogance.
Yeah, and a lot of people like that. You know,
Yeah.
women that I've dated have liked that.
Mhm.
Not all of them. I would say that my special human probably doesn't like that. The arrogance comes from my insecurity, for sure. When I'm fully confident, I'm actually pretty quiet.
Oh,
When I'm arrogant, I'm usually covering up an insecurity. Because what you kind of do, you ever see Harry Potter?
yes.
Right? You're gonna zap your Patronus. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of zapping my Patronus out into the world because I'm afraid of what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm afraid of what's gonna hit me. And so my Patronus, this big stag that I'm shooting out into the field to stop you from getting to me,
Is
my arrogance stopping you from getting to my insecurity. And I'll be insecure. I mean, I'm insecure about, I'll brag about one or two things. I'm highly intelligent, and I don't care if that sounds arrogant. If that sounds arrogant,
that's facts.
Yeah, that is facts.
Well, I say the same thing.
I'm empathetic as heck. I can make somebody feel like they are right there with me at all times,
Yes.
right? And I'd say I'm it's probably the only two things.
That's it. That's all I got for you. But it's real strong.
Yeah, but anything other than those two things, like I'm probably not insecure about it. I'm not secure about my body. I was disclosing Robbie. You know, you'll see it if you haven't seen it yet. I made a couple of videos last week. I'm disclosing them one at a time about my body hatred, about hatred for my body. About I don't know if you know this about me, but I used to up until recently, up until maybe 2 years ago, I used to wake up some morning. Not often, but give me once a month, twice a month. I used to beat the ever-living crap out of my body. I used to beat myself.
No.
Because I hated my body so much.
Wow.
And so, you know, if somebody comes up to me and says, oh, your dad bod is so cute, or, you know, I like guys a little fluff. I'm like, oh, wait, what? You know, because I'm thinking that I'm this humongous guy, and I haven't gotten over the fact that I was fat growing up and I got teased growing up, and so I do have a little bit of a dad bod. I don't mind it. You know, I'm eating tacos.
Dad bods, they do it.
Dad bod's a thing.
Yeah,
It's a thing.
But I get insulted.
Hey, tell me if you like dad bods in the comments.
But I get insulted. I get insulted because no, I don't. Like I don't. Not me, because I grew up. I mean, I grew up wearing sweatpants, and I got teased by the kid. You said you got teased growing up, right?
All the
Talk about that. I got teased because I wore sweatpants because jeans did not. They were either too tight around the, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Robert?
Yeah.
Where they get you at the muffin top, or B, I had to wear adult jeans.
Yeah.
So everyone was getting wear like the Jenkos and the cool jeans. I remember I had Levi's wide legs. That's what I got to wear.
You should have told him I was leveled up.
Relaxed fit. Exactly. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No worries. So here's the thing. You say you have bad days as far as like how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
I have bad days where I think. Mm-hmm. So I only told Robbie this, and maybe about partner, but other than that, I didn't tell you that. Did I tell you? I may have. So I was going to the bank, right? I think I did tell you.
At two twice.
I was going to the bank, ladies and gents. So I walk in there, and you know, I was kind of head a little cloudy or whatever the case may be, and the teller ended up asking me, "So how's your day going?" And I was totally off. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling. Oh no, I'm feeling weird today." I said, "I think I'm a beat off today." I had to think about what I just said.
Well, now you didn't tell me what her reaction was.
She looked at me and was like, "Oh, okay." Like, you know, super cool.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I said, you're the coolest lady for a guy to tell you he's going to beat off right in front of you. But what I meant was I'm offbeat for the day.
Right.
That's what I meant. So sometimes I be having off days, and those may be my insecurities. But underlining with those insecurities, a lot of those insecurities come from, I was looking at life hacks.
Yeah.
And they had an article. And I'm going through a few of the reasons why people have insecurities based upon life hacks. So if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and look it up. Hey, you know, it's like we going through it together. But it's jealousy in the relationship. A couple things that will make insecurities in the relationship that have been overlooked. Number one, lack of confidence. The top cause of that would be what? Getting teased, bullied in school. So basically, this kind of stuff happens over time.
Right.
You know, this happened before when we were little jits, when we were coming up. And those kind of things, and believe it or not, these things are difficult to get over, and they overlap into our adulthood. So if you hear somebody talking about that they've been teased, bullied, or anything like that when they were young, that doesn't mean they have gotten over it. And they may need a little bit more love to help them get over it. So you gotta be patient, gotta love on them, and you gotta show some open admiration for them too.
That is something that I think we all struggle with. So I'll just go, I'm not doing well with COVID. I mean, we're happy and it's fine. And, I wanted to actually do a skit about how, we are, as humans, we're all like, loving COVID, just doing some hands-on crafty work. And then like we go home, we're like, oh man, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't do well. You're one of the only people I get to see. You and Robbie, the only two people I get to see throughout the week. I think I may see my friend Jessica this weekend. I see one or two kids that I'm able to tutor hands-on because they have some learning disabilities that make them essential to tutor hands-on.
Yeah.
And then that's
it.
Yeah, my roommate's gone. I'm hopefully getting a new roommate. I don't do well with this at all. And
so you're a real extrovert.
I am. Let me tell you something, Twice. I could spend all night. When we get back into things, like we're going to do some networking. I don't want to go to some events. I want to host some events.
Absolutely.
I can network all night. Twice I had a great event a couple months ago, but I can network.
I was drunk.
You were. I think I had like 3 drinks that I was sober as a clown. Or
is clown
sober? I don't know.
Yeah, clown sober? Great question. Let us
So-
know if you know clowns that are sober.
Yeah. So I can network all night. I can be an extrovert all night. I can hang out with my friends all night. I will come home and like I'll sell all day. I'll come home. I had a mentor who would sell with me, and he would have to go after we had a big week of sales. He would have to spend all weekend in bed reading the book
To get his energies back up.
To get his energy back up. I will immediately. I'll text my girl. I'll text my boys. I'll text my mom. I'll text my dad. I'll text anybody I can text. I'll get on the phone. I'll make plans. I'm ready to go. So this is really hard for me. So I think one thing we have to realize is that we're kind of all here, and nobody's doing that well. And our instinct is to say, well, what about me? What about me? But the person that you're saying, what about me to, is also like, what about me? What about me? So we're literally doing this together, and we're just beating the crap out of each other, out of ourselves.
Yeah.
Whereas I think at some point we just got, and I know we should be social distancing, so I'll only do this in one time, but we should be like, hey man, like, right? Like,
man, absolutely.
I'm here with you, and I think that when somebody shows you an insecurity, it's really important for you to take a step back and for you to say, okay, this insecurity is not about me, right? Like you walk up to a girl at a bar, right? And the girl's like, buzz off.
Yeah.
Not about you. It's about her.
Yeah.
She's had a bad day. She's
probably there to get drunk.
Yeah, probably there. Whatever. It's not about you.
So don't feel bad when you get shot down.
I had a guy today at 7-Eleven. At 7-Eleven today, I was on my phone because I was kind of having a rough day. I was on my phone, and I didn't see on the floor. I didn't see the squares. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he was standing on a square, but the square was in front. It was like way behind the cash register, and the square was in front of like the hot dog thing. So I thought he was waiting for somebody to get my hot dog at 7-Eleven. So I said to him, I said, "Hey man, are you online?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm online." And I'm like, "Oh, right." So I get behind him, still not seeing the squares. So when he moves up, what do?
Move up.
I move up with him, and he goes, "Mother effer, you want to give me some room? First you ask some stupid ass question." I'm like, whoa. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, and I'm like, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm a boxer. I got a piece at home too. And I'm like, going through all the things. I'm like, what can I do to this guy? I'm like, and I go, bro, I'm sorry you're having a bad day, but I think you just need to breathe. He goes, look, I do not.
I don't need to breathe.
And then he's like, yeah, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, breathing is good. Air is good.
Right? Absolutely.
Hey, so we said one of the first things to not overlook when you're feeling insecure or jealousy in a relationship for that matter. First thing is the lack of confidence due to the fact of what happened in your childhood. Also, sometimes when you're in your childhood, you've all probably been told you weren't good enough or someone can always be better or things of that nature. So that's not always the case. You know, you are good enough, and we're going to tell you how and tell you why. Before we get to that, number 2, there's a thing called attachment styles. Have you ever heard of attachment styles?
Is it similar to like your love language, or?
Attachment styles is more pertaining to the type of relationships you had when you were young.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
see, I don't have to pay for talk space therapy this week. All right.
So
okay.
When you talk about attachment styles, you've either been neglected.
Okay.
With as far as your emotional needs.
Okay.
Or you've been protected with your emotional needs. You know, you don't want to be in the part where you're given everything, where everything's handed to you, or you also don't want to be at the part where you have literally nothing.
Huh? What do you think? What do you think you were?
Attachment styles. As far as my attachment style,
okay, mom's in the other room, right?
Oh yeah, mom's in here. But here's the thing: my attachment style, and I told her this. I was the guy that was told that there's always somebody better than you.
Okay, and which is not completely untrue.
But I was always better than everybody.
Oh, now, Robbie, do you think that's arrogance? Is that Patronus or is that confidence?
That's confidence.
That's confidence. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, well, in like Taekwondo. Like,
you Taekwondo too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Football.
Okay. Basketball, you played.
I was always, just to be honest, superior athletic than everybody.
Is it possible that she was giving you the Michael Phelps? You know Michael Phelps.
Yeah, 100%. But here's the thing: when I got around other people that were just as good, I didn't feel like I was good enough, so I underperformed.
Okay. So you were too humble.
So I didn't feel like I fit in.
Okay.
To a point. So it was kind of and it took me a while to get my confidence level back. Yeah. Because you got to feel like you belong before you can, move in that manner. Yep. Because if you don't feel like you're gonna walk different, talk different, all kind of things. Yeah. So that attachment style, it was good. Now, if you are on the other spectrum to where that you don't get any love, any support, and you have like the kind of relationship to where you're missing out on all of your emotional needs, you are going to have the hardest time with pretty much anything. All your insecurities are going to be up front. You're going to have, I'm kind of jumping into it, control issues, all kind of everything.
Now this reminds me of, do you know growth mindset versus fixed mindset?
Yes.
Okay, so this right, does that not remind you a little bit?
Yeah, 100%.
So somebody with fixed mindset basically says, I'm all the way up here already. They'll go, and they're the type of person that says something like, I'm good at math, I just don't feel like doing math right now. Or, I'm really good at lacrosse, but I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I could beat all you guys. The reality is that they can't. Right? They're afraid that if they prove that they can't do something, that they'll never be able to do it, right? They think they have a fixed mindset, and it's great. I'm always great at everything, right? And so they get really frustrated. Let's say you say, okay, you're an athlete, great, here's a new sport to play. And they get frustrated because they don't know how to play it. Well, of course you don't know how to play this brand new sport, right? Here's a math problem. Oh, you don't know how to do it because you don't know math? You don't know that math yet, right? Right. Somebody with a growth mindset will say, I'm here, I'm pretty good, and they probably are here, but they say, I'm here, and I'll always have stuff to learn. And they go, oh, this is new? Well, let me learn it. And the first 5 or 6 times they'll fail because that's what you do.
That's what happens.
And then on 6 and 7 they get better, and then on 8 and 9 they get better, on 9 and 10 they get better. And the people who are growth mindset really don't care about the trophy as much. The people who are fixed mindset have a garage full of trophies, right? So I'm kind of in the middle of that. I was fixed mindset for a long time where I was like, I could do anything, but I don't want to do it. Right now, I'm like, I probably can't do a lot, but I'll learn.
And that's the thing. A lot of people can do more than they really believe.
Sure, so if you want it.
If you want it, 100%.
Right? Because you may say to somebody, with the relationship show, right? You may say to your girl, well, I'm capable of loving you. I'm capable of giving you the time and energy that you deserve. And they'll say, but you're not. And you say, but I can do it. And they say, okay, well then do it. And if you don't do it, it means you have other priorities. You've got priorities with your boys. You've got priorities with other girls. You've got priorities with work. And that's okay.
And I'm super glad that you brought up again. This is a relationship show with Going Solo Network. So when you bring those kind of issues into your relationship, it creates insecurities, anxiety that we end up projecting on our partner.
Well, it creates for sure. And this is probably your 20-minute mark. I don't know if you want to take a break.
Okay. Well, yes, this is Going Solo Network, man. We're gonna be right back. Remember, this is Thinking Twice with Mr. Twice and the Dean. All right, so we right back in it, man. You know, Thinking Twice. I'm Mr. Twice. We got the Dean. No questions necessary. He already got all his credentials. Believe that. So we talking about supreme confidence, but before we get to confidence, we gotta wipe away the insecurities. So we got a clean slate for you. And the insecurities we already started talking about is the ones that you got when you was a little bit younger. You know, we all get those. We all have had those battles when we were younger. You know, big brother beat you up. Mom told you this. Dad told you that. Friends had all the better stuff than you did. Whatever the case may be, man, it happens. But there are surefire ways to go ahead and release that and start to be you and loving and enjoying you. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that already do. Like, I like how that came out.
That's right. I like that too. I like that too.
And so with those insecurities that you bring into your relationships, the jealousy, the anxiety, that really takes away from the relationship. And not only does it take away from the relationship, it makes your partner start thinking about other relationships.
Well, so that's it's right before the break. You said it. I wanted to really flesh that out because your insecurities are about to mesh with some other insecurities.
Right. You mean of your partner?
Of your partner.
Okay.
And you are about to. It's almost.
And you're making an environment where insecurities can breathe.
Right, and can flourish.
Yes.
And so you had mentioned there are some insecurities that you come to the relationship with, but then there are going to be insecurities that you gain from that relationship. I'll give you some examples.
You gain insecurities when you get into a relationship?
100%.
Really?
I typically tend to date high profile people. And those high profile people are attractive and they tend to date other high profile people. Right, so they've dated hockey players, or they've dated movie stars, or they've dated models, and I'm just me, you know. And I've said I'm confident about two things: I'm smart and I'm empathetic. Right, I don't have a six pack, I never will. I lost some weight because I've been doing a shake cleanse, and it's kind of impacted my arms. I kind of feel insecure about how scrawny I am. I'm never going to be a big athlete. I'm never going to be an actor. Never going to be a singer.
You might be an actor, man.
Well,
you can make it.
Yeah, I like it.
For sure.
I think I could play. I always wanted to get into a reality show like Jersey Shore, but I would be like the very, very like non-Italian Italian.
I have a movie that I was wanting to write up. Haven't done it yet. A doctor with a gambling problem. You would be the guy.
I would. I just keep it like this, and
you would be the guy.
So gambling, you know. But no.
But
so
it gets crazy.
We gotta, you know me, you know, right? But so my insecurities are that I'm not good enough for my partner, and I have my body. You know, I deal with my body every single day. I deal with, you know, my own class of who I am every single day, and I always think that I'm not good enough for that person. But then on the other side, I've almost all my partners. So one thing that I do, my insecurity brings me. I always talk about past relationships with partners, always, and. I'm not going to get into the number of relationships I've had, the number of partners that I've had, but it's
you know that adds insecurities as well.
Yeah,
that was number 5.
What's that?
Unequal past relationships.
Right.
So when you're talking about your past relationships, or if you're in a relationship with somebody and either you have more experience than the first person, or vice versa, that can bring out a lot of insecurities as well.
Well, I don't do it on purpose. But I'm told that I talk about relationships a lot, and I think what my brain says is, hey, let this person know that maybe you're not an all-star baseball player, but you're a very desired person, right? Let them know that you have had lots of people who desire you, and what it unfortunately does is that person didn't give a crap about who high-profile people they were dating, because they're obviously dating me for a reason.
Right.
But now they're thinking about all the women in my life, and they're going, "How do I compare all the women?"
Yes, and it's terrible
When
a woman compares herself to
Mhm.
another woman. Men, you better watch out.
Well,
That is the worst
when
situation you could be in.
when I wasn't with my special human for a couple months, I always girls are always going to be in my inbox. They're always trying to get and talk to me, and I would say, look, I'm really not that interested, whatever. And they would say, why? I said, well, me and my girl are kind of off. And they go, oh, who's your girl? And I said, well, so and so.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, I'm not even touching that because they looked at my ex, now my girlfriend, and they go, I can't compare to that person.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my way of keeping myself solo for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But imagine doing that inadvertently to someone you actually want to date,
Yeah.
care about. It's pretty toxic.
Oh, you call that toxic?
I would say that's toxic.
Is it because then they feel like they're comparing themselves to somebody else?
Yeah, because you've got an insecurity that you're obviously unaware of or aware of, and you are filling that insecurity. You're using your Patronus, right? You're whatever. Something comes to your brain about you in the next relationship, and for a split second, your brain goes, "Don't say it," but you ignore it, or you don't hear it well enough. And you tell your current partner about a previous relationship. It could be a song. It could be a dish. It could be a movie. And you tell them, you do that enough times, and they go, this guy's really dated a lot of people.
This guy is really,
yeah.
And
now this person who you were insecure around, you didn't feel like you were at the level of, doesn't feel like they're at your level. So you got two people who's literally walking around the house past each other, wishing that they were at each other's level, when the reality is they are. They picked each other for a reason.
And you know what's even worse? What happens is when that person doesn't feel like they measure up, they not even intentionally, but maybe even subconsciously sabotage that other person.
Yes.
So what happens is,
or resent.
And what happens is, let's say like the person's successful. They're making great decisions, but the person they're with has little experience. They feel like they don't measure up. They're going to be like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and that to maybe kind of slow their progress down.
So I can catch up a little.
I was just in one of those situations.
Really?
I was in one.
Not with me.
No, not with me. It ended in October.
Okay, you were saying,
but, we kind of spoke afterwards to kind of get some type of closure. And that was what came up of the closure.
Yeah.
That was what was going on. And I didn't believe it until I really, and didn't recognize it until I actually lived it.
Right.
So you have to be aware, if you're with somebody or you're a pretty successful person and you like somebody for who they are and they're maybe not on your level on a couple of other things, try not to put them in an environment that will make them insecure about who they are and where they stand next to you, because it's going to be hard to convince them of their value to you. So if that made sense, just be conscious of what you talk about, how you bring up things of sensitive natures, so you don't make them insecure.
This is the ultimate challenge for a lot of people, and this is something that I struggled with for a long time. And I think I've gotten to where I want to be, and then I have my relapses here and there. But for somebody who does make someone feel insecure, right? It's very challenging. It's very difficult for them to stop. And they may
once you do, you can't turn it off.
Well, once you know how.
Right? Once you know how to make someone insecure.
Because I've always it's tough. I've always been smart. I've always had a lot of partners in my life. I've always been a pretty, I've made a lot of money. I've done these things, and it's hard. And this is something, and I've said this in the past, so it's not like I'm disclosing something I haven't disclosed before. The past few years, I've been pretty spot on. I'm aware of myself. I would never want my partner to feel insecure at all. But prior to that, I didn't care I didn't necessarily go out of my way to make them insecure, but I didn't care if they were insecure because I wanted them.
That makes that relationship so. You wanted them.
I wanted them to always want me. Because I back then was so insecure that I thought that I needed that leverage to keep them around.
So you feel like if somebody is a bit insecure about their status with you, that it makes them want to pursue you a little bit more?
Yeah, so maybe I'll say something like, oh man, my bonus this year was $30,000, knowing that they don't make a lot of money. Right. Or I might say something like, oh, back in the day when I used to date that celebrity, knowing that would you know,
Yeah.
or maybe not even knowing. Excuse me, because that makes me a malicious person. Not thinking twice.
2 times.
Not thinking twice before.
You gotta think twice, ladies and gents.
Yes. Not thinking twice before I would say that. So let me rephrase. It's not that I knew it was going to make them insecure. It was that I didn't care enough to think before I said it. Now I'm very, very much secure in my relationship and very much secure in myself. And for the past couple of years have been. So I've noticed I bite my tongue a lot more. I didn't talk about how much money I made. I didn't talk about my degrees. I didn't talk about my previous sexual past. I didn't talk about, things that I felt like I might have over somebody or whatever. And I allowed my partner to feel like they are enough and they are worthy. And I think that's something that's super important. It's really hard for you to do that if you don't feel worthy.
Yeah.
If you don't feel worthy, you are going to subliminally make your partner feel unworthy.
All the time. And they will do it with, like you said, without even knowing it.
Without even knowing it. And that's what makes it dangerous.
But if they do know they're doing it, what do you call that?
Manipulation.
Manipulation.
Or toxic.
Or toxic.
Oh
or
my
toxic,
God.
probably said.
That's
a toxic person. That is somebody who, and I fall into this a lot because I've dated people I think who revel in, I'm a high profile guy, they've reveled in me serving them. So look at this guy, this guy I can have serving me. Right?
And that is the place that I always found myself in.
Yeah. And so what you wind up thinking to yourself is, God, how did I get into this situation? Because they're just constantly making you feel less than.
Yeah.
And you're constantly trying to level up to that.
And they wanted to show, and like, she just want to show off.
Yeah.
She's showing off to her friends. Yeah, I got this guy.
Look at this guy.
Boop, bop, bop. Yeah, like you a trophy.
Yep.
Instead of like, oh man, I done did it a couple times.
Did you know? So you know that I've had a history. I used to go to these specific events that were for plus size women.
Yes.
And I used to go to a lot of them. And I'm not going to bash any of them. In fact, they're called bashes. But
I'm not going to bash them, but we love going to bashes.
They were chat rooms about who was going to get me.
Oh.
And who was going to walk around with me. Who was going to talk to me and who was going to get me to buy them dinner and buy them a drink. And when I found
did they bet on it too?
I don't know if they were betting on it, but somebody told me, they said, this is what's going on. You've been kind of like a trophy. And so I was like, really? And so, I mean,
how did it make you feel?
Well, first I was flattered, but then I was like, really felt terrible because
right.
I was labeled, you know my history. I've been labeled as a predator and terrible things. And I've said and done some not so great things in my life, but to know that I'm here trying to chomp somebody and I got a school fish trying to get at me.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel good. It felt terrible. And I think that was a couple of people, probably the ringleaders, felt insecure about themselves and wanted me to be that trophy. So it wasn't a good feeling.
Ladies, do you like being a trophy? Let us know how you feel. Because does that make you insecure? Does it make you feel like you're on top of the world? If you it depends upon whose trophy you are. What's going on with that?
Well, are you the trophy or are you holding the trophy? Right. So that's totally different things. If you're holding the trophy, it probably makes you feel pretty good. But if you are the trophy, I think.
What do you have to go through to get it?
Well, I think at first your first reaction would probably be flattery, right? Especially if male or female, if you're a trophy, you're probably flattered at first.
Yeah.
Then at some point you're thinking to yourself, well, what if I don't please this person? What if I don't have what this person wants? What if I don't look the same way anymore? Do I lose that status? But then you also think to yourself, do I have substance, or is this person sleeping with me or talking to me or hanging out with me because of what? There were a lot of people in my life who literally loved the way I made them feel. Loved the way I made them feel when I took them out.
Infatuated, intoxicated.
Yeah. And it really, it took me a while to realize, if I'm not buying them dinner or if I'm not around their arms or if I'm not shouting them out on social media or if I'm not using my brand to help them, are they really people that care about me? And ultimately was no. And when I found that out, a lot of my meat, a lot of my substance, it was like it just dropped from out of my feet. It was like I was an empty shell. Felt terrible.
No.
Yeah.
So you felt like you was empty after that?
I felt empty, and it took me a long time to kind of rebuild that. It took me about a year to rebuild all that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And that, to say the least, That happens more than you think.
Of course, and I think and this is why we do this, because it happens to men and women.
Yes.
Right? I mean, look, does it happen to women more? It might, because I think that men are hunters, and they're less monogamous than women. So I think that men impact more women, and I think they do it more negatively, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But that does not to say that women don't do it, right? It happens.
And women do it. I think because gender roles are reversing, women do it a whole lot more. So we're on to you, and we're watching you. Don't think we're just going to be your trophies around here. We're more than just the finish line. We're the whole journey and the race. Remember that. I wanted to go back to attachment styles. Oh, by the way, we kind of jumped and touched a couple of them. One of the 5 that were on the list, we kind of just touched 2. I was talking about unequal past relationships,
right?
But it kind of jumped right into personal life fulfillment, which was the fact where their life is better than mine, and I can't measure up to them. That's something that I feel constantly. So it's I've talked to you about it. I've talked to you offline, online. I suffer from anxiety and depression, and that has contributing factors.
A huge contributing factor.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that I want to do in my life. There's a lot that I need to do in my life. I have 27 books that I'm writing. I have 2 magazines that I'm running.
Nice.
I have podcasts. I'm trying to write a book currently.
You're the dean.
Yeah, I was the dean.
We just say the dean just to keep it short. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you guys don't know what that means, he just spelled it out. so just say dean, keep it short.
Yeah,
you know
I have a lot of things. I employ people. I spend a lot of my savings doing that, and I do all these things. And people would look at what I'm doing, and they would say, "Wow, you must be fulfilled." But the reality is that I'm fairly certain I will die unfulfilled. I will die never, because I'm never satisfied. I look at anybody.
You must be a Virgo.
I'm a Libra. we're very similar. Yeah. So I'll look at you. I look at Robbie. I look at Cece. I look at my special human. I look at my mom. I look at my dad. I've driven past a homeless person and gone, man, I wish.
You wish you had that responsibility?
I wish I was homeless.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because what did I do? I got student debt. Then I became a dean, and I'm writing books. I'm doing all these things, and I'm going, God, it piles up, and I'm never going to be fulfilled. So when my partner's having a great day, it takes a lot of my energy, but I do it. I go, that's great, baby. I'm so proud of you. And it's hard for me to say that because I am proud of them. I'm also going, man, I wish I felt that today. You know? And then sometimes I do feel it that day, but I forget that I felt it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough, man. It's tough, and everybody feels it, especially with COVID going on. There's people who are essential workers who are going, I wish I could stay home. There are people who are staying home going, I wish I could make money.
That work.
Right? There are people who are working part-time going, I wish I could be laid off or working. There are people who have a small business that are like, I wish my business was moving. There are people who didn't have a small business who are like, man, right now it would be a great time to start my business, but I don't have the money. And so we're all looking at each other going, you got it better, you got it better. The reality is, so we're all in this together. We have our own insecurities. Nobody's life is perfect. And, we're sitting there with our cell phones going, look at this amazing thing. When meanwhile, there's a pile of trash in front of us.
Right. Or behind us.
Well, that's why I'm taking a selfie. I don't think, the garage can highlight the good stuff. Yeah. You're going to the dock on Lake Mead, and you find a boat that's not yours, and you step on it. You're taking the selfie, and somebody's chasing you off for 2 minutes. 2 minutes later, right?
Man, I've done it before.
You've done it before?
Yeah, I never did it again. I was like, I need my own boat for real. So I kind of missed this part with as far as attachment styles. When you're thinking about the attachment styles, now remember, attachment styles was the part where it's either how you were raised, whether you got too much love, enough love, or not enough love, or somewhere in between. Now, the people that did not get enough love, and if you know your partner didn't get enough love, and then you start to fill up that gap that they had, please be weary and aware.
Tell me why. Tell me why. I'm curious about this now.
Clinginess and possessiveness will come at an all-time high.
Now, there's also something else too. I'm gonna add in there. Have you ever seen Good Will Hunting?
Yes.
Okay. If somebody had the opposite of love if they've been abused,
yes,
right?
And they don't know how to receive it.
They don't know how to receive it. Not only that, when they receive it, they
reject it.
They reject it, and also they might link you up with the person who was supposed to give it to them, and so they have a lot of animosity towards you.
Oh,
right? If you remind them of somebody, right? Yeah. If you remind them of someone who gave them a little bit of love,
much sense.
So now they're projecting, and they're rejecting, they're projecting, they're being hostile towards you. You're like, what the hell?
And they think that it's not gonna last, and you're gonna take it away.
They don't know what your ulterior motive is.
They clam up and close up to you. It's so many problems.
There's a lot of ways that happens.
So many.
And that's why when you actually do say leave them or break up with them, that's when they tell you like, I knew that.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. Yeah.
But they pushed you away. They showed you the door. They rolled out the red carpet.
Yep. And now, so you know this about me. You know that I lost my mom when I was 5. It is very challenging for me to have. My stepmother is amazing. I spoke to her today. It's been hard for me to get on the phone the past couple of days because COVID's really starting to hit me. I would love for just one night on the strip to go get a drink.
Yeah, for sure.
So I talk to my mom almost every day. I talk to my dad almost every day. But for me, it's been really it's always been a challenge to have a successful relationship with a female because I didn't receive that love from my mother, who passed when I was very young. And then there was a couple of years, and then my stepmom came in. And it was kind of like, well, you take what she gives you, and I love my mom, but I didn't. There was no transaction there. There was no I give you, you give me. It was this is your new mom. And I said, okay, love you. I don't have a mom. You're my mom. And so when I'm in a relationship with a female, I'm in a relationship with men. I'm straight. When I'm in a relationship with a female, it's challenging for me to be vulnerable and receive and give all at the same time. Because to me, it's like, okay, this what I'm supposed to do?
That's tough for me too.
Yeah,
that's tough. I feel it.
Yeah, this is what we're here for.
Yes, so that you can open up, be yourself, and not only be yourself, but love yourself and love the people that love you too.
That's hard. That's really hard, man. It's hard. It's like
yes.
What movie was that? Or it was the book too, where they're all chasing the people. They're all like chasing each other. 10 Things I Hate It. No. Eat, Pray, Love? No, the other one. Oh, he's just not that into you.
Oh, I was just watching that movie.
So it's like I'm in love with you when you're in love with Robbie, and Robbie's in love with this guy over here, and then this guy over here is in love with me, and it's like we're all chasing each other.
I made a post about that.
It's very similar.
Like a love triangle.
I made a post about that. We're chasing the people that don't really like us.
Right.
And what happens is that person hurts us. That we don't reach their expectations, or we don't end up getting the person, and it just goes around in a circle. So we're all pretty much chasing somebody else's tail. Yep. And it's a never-ending story. And also, what that does, that makes a bunch of assholes.
It does.
That really demoralizes people, and not only it stops people from pursuing other people that they should.
Well, I've been watching a lot of Sopranos lately because it's free on, HBO's doing a lot of their shows.
And you getting some gravy?
Yeah, getting some gravy in there.
Yeah.
Well, this is, my family is Italian American. We're certainly not organized criminals because I'd be a lot wealthier. But a lot of the things that happen in their family could happen in my family, being Italian American, and so it's kind of like a throwback. And I watch it with my family every Sunday.
Yeah.
It was like a Sunday routine. After football, we watch it. I remember specifically after the Super Bowl, I had a bunch of my buddies over for the Super Bowl one night, 7th, 10th, 11th grade, and after the Super Bowl, Sopranos came right on because that's how they designed it. And so you see 5 of us on the couch, and I swear to God, that song, woke up this morning, got yourself. So I swear 5 of us doing this. Like doing that.
Right on beat.
So I'm watching Sopranos a lot, and I was just thinking about this the other night. Carmela Soprano is a beautiful woman, right? His wife. You've seen it or not?
Yeah.
So she's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful. She says to him, I remember, because he has a gumara, he has a girlfriend, right? And that's pretty typical for an organized criminal, right? For the boss of the family,
right? No question.
And she says,
maybe a couple.
She says, I want you to stay safe, and I want you to get the vasectomy. And they get into a big fight about it. And he goes, well, what do you want from me? And she reaches over to him and she grabs his chest. And James Gandolfini's a big guy, and she grabs his big chest and she goes, all I want is you. And she gives him a kiss on the cheek. And I thought to myself, this guy's got something right here that he probably chased for so many years. He wanted this woman, right? I'm sure she didn't wake up, knock on his door, and say, "Hey, Mr. Soprano, it's me. I'd like to go on a date with you." I'm sure he courted her.
Right.
And now he's got these gumadas, he's got these girls that look very different from her. They're all the same. They're all shorter brunette. She's a taller blonde. And, you know, he's got like a type of gumad that he goes after. And then he comes home to this woman who he's not very attracted to. And there's certain intimacy nights that they have or whatever. And I think to myself, all she wants is you. And all you're chasing are these. And most of his girlfriends are like mentally unstable. They make it so in the show that they are pretty like unstable, or they're volatile, or they're toxic, or they're aggressive, you know. Yeah. And he's chasing that woman
with all those insecurities that we talk about.
Right. But the woman that he courted at one point, the woman that makes his home, is the woman that he's literally, she's kissing him, going, "All I want is you," and he's staring at the mirror. He's staring away from her. And that's, I mean, that if that is not a depiction of a lot of our relationships, I don't know what is. And it comes from, who is he chasing? He's chasing his mom. His mom was an insecure, very hostile, angry woman. And he's chasing his mom.
So your insecurities and your confidence falls back largely on your upbringing.
Right. And here's a guy in this show, right? This guy is larger than life. This guy, talking about confidence, he should be the most, he is the boss of bosses. You can't even tell, you're not even allowed to touch this guy. You can't even tell him no. You're not allowed to tell him no. Yeah. Right? Even if you disagree with him, he's the boss. And so he's got these insecurities. So imagine how hard it is for us regular folks.
Right.
And he's a movie character too.
And a boss.
So right, it's so hard for us regular folks to look at that person that we wanted for so long and to say, I'm not that you're enough for me, because that's typically how it what's the word? That's typically how it comes out.
I know you know
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's typically how it feels.
Yeah, how it feels. But the reality is, you're not enough for them, and so you're chasing. And this is not me. We've talked about monogamy. I'm in a monogamous relationship. This is not me, but a lot of us are chasing a feeling that we will not find, and ignoring the feeling that we chased already because of these insecurities, and it comes out in that way.
And I
can't think of that word.
I think that number one, you can't just really feed on your insecurities.
Oh no.
Number one, because your insecurities will feed on your fears.
Yeah, they'll feed on you. They'll feed on everybody around you. And it's like the Green Lantern, right?
Yes.
Fear, you know?
And we have to learn how to crush our insecurities.
I'm sorry, manifests. That's the word.
Manifest.
Good, I'm sorry.
Manifest, yes. So we just have to really learn how to squash our fears and not put our insecurities and our fears into our next relationship.
Like, or our current.
Right. So if, let's say, I don't feel good about going to this place, but you are 100% cool going to this place.
Yeah.
And you know everybody there.
Yeah.
You know all the bouncers, all the
that would be me and you, because you've been in Vegas for 20 years. I've been in Vegas for about 4 months, so I would definitely know everybody. And you would know it. This makes sense. Yeah. This is our life.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
When we go out, everybody's like, "Oh, what's up, Doc? What's going on?" I'm like, "Who's this guy?"
And I just gotta say, "Hey,
Robbie knows."
Hey, how's it going? I'm the new guy.
Hey guys. Hi. My name's David twice.
Hey, 2 times.
No, but that's true. But and the other thing we need to think about. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No.
The other thing we need to think about too is there's 2 things at play. When you're insecure, so let's play that out, right? We all go. I cannot wait to go. Me, you, Robbie. Let's get Steve out. Let's get Kitty out. I don't care who's coming. Let's get my new roommate out. Let's get everybody out, right? So we go out, right? And let's say
I get drunk.
Let's use
let's say we get drunk.
Let's use Robbie for a second. So
sure.
Let's say Robbie doesn't know a lot of people.
Yeah.
You pick the spot because you know a lot of clubs, right? Yeah. You pick the spot, and Robbie's like, I don't know a lot of people. And I'm gonna venture to say you're an extroverted guy, but sometimes you get a little shy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Robbie is a little shy and he doesn't know anybody. So there's 2 ways he can do this, right? He can go and not say anything, and then just kind of mope and maybe act out, maybe get drunk. And maybe be obnoxious and get the wrong kind of attention. Or he could be vulnerable with you, which is what we want. And he could say, you know what, Twice, man, I do appreciate that you got us VIP seats at this club, but I don't really know anybody. And it's good. And then what you need to do, right, because he's just giving you that vulnerability, what you need to do is, hey, you know what, man, it's not for another day. I know about 5 or 6 people's number that are going. let me get you their numbers. Let me start a group chat so you get to know those people. I didn't think that, or ask them, hey, is this not where you want to go? Because we could just get sushi the 5 hours.
And maybe I'm a toxic person.
No, I made this up.
You know what I would say?
What?
Stop talking to me.
Wait,
get in the car.
Here's the fun thing, because there's a perfect scenario that you said something like that.
Yeah.
I actually am one of the new guys here.
Yeah, right. Robbie is new.
And he twice did take me to a club, right? He knows pretty much everything about the club. And I don't know anything.
Which club we go to?
Was it the one across from the Orleans?
Oh, that was the night that you didn't link up with me.
Oh,
Steve.
yeah.
We were on Fremont having a good time.
We went to
No, this was a different
time.
A different night that you didn't call me.
This was like a random Friday night.
Because
we're still wearing our jerseys, we had to take it off.
Yes.
Oh, from work? Yeah.
So
where we go? Oh man,
it was that one club.
Man, it was the old strip hop, Seamless.
Yeah,
we ended up going to Seamless.
Right. So we was over there. I don't know anything. He pretty much knows what's going on. Everyone.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like chilling, just relaxing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just relaxing, just like, I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But he would introduce me to some people, be like, hey, this and this,
Right.
It's not one of those like
promoter.
Exactly. So I'm not one to like walk around, but like, hey, if you're gonna introduce me and to talk to people, why not?
And I wasn't saying that I know you wouldn't do that.
I'm only going to
I would probably do that. I would probably mope around and get negative attention. Because it's very rare that I don't know people at a place, and if somebody knows more people than me, what happens? My insecurities come out, and I go, "Is this guy know more people? Is this guy cooler than I am?" And then I would probably get drunk, and I would sit in the corner.
I get drunk.
No, you guys have a good time. You know everybody. I'm just sitting here eating my cheeseburger because it's the only thing I know here.
The only thing I know.
The only thing wants to hang out with me. Yeah.
Hey, and when insecurities show up, they sound like that.
Exactly.
Just like annoying.
Annoying.
And so, with that being said, I know we're almost done here with our insecurity show because I wanted to talk about supreme confidence, but remember, we got to start you off with a clean slate.
I think this was the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
No, I do.
It's a foundation.
Yeah, we want to start you guys off with a clean slate. Now, there's a couple other things. Oh, well, let me go ahead and recap as far as what kind of things cause insecurities and that hinder your confidence. Jealousy in a relationship, it comes in 5 things: the lack of confidence. You got there's some attachment styles that have some issues with the personal life. If they're too good for you, if they're not good enough for you, or if they feel like that, unequal experiences in your relationships, all of those things can be a factor into your insecurities. Now, there's a couple other things now we went in the deep end. Now we're gonna go into the end that most people really resonate with. Now, one of the first things today, being that this is an informational world, one of the first things that people get insecure about is when they're on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
So
that social media platform, I don't know if you know it, it is the most stressful social media platform ever invented.
Period.
Because what did you do? You put your face on there. It's not really a content thing. It's your body and your face, right? So you're talking about your image. And what's the one thing you do to it? You like it, right?
Yeah.
You quantify your attractiveness.
Yes.
Right?
With the number of likes.
With the number of likes. So I consider myself a pretty attractive guy now. It took me a really long time to realize I was actually dating a model, an actual model.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first kind of high profile people I dated. And she said, you're like an 8.5, easy. And I go, 8.5.
Get out of here.
8.5. Get out. Maybe a shoe size. Like, No. And she goes, no, you easily are. Like, you're close to a 9. And I think I actually got a little more attractive at age. I think my beard grew out a little bit. I think my jawline changed up. And even I'll post. I'm not the kind of guy. I don't care. I'll post it. I have something to say. I say it. On Instagram, I have 30, 40,000 followers. I used to have like 70 on my old account, 70,000. But I'll post it. And, I used to get like 200, 250, 300 likes on a photo.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting like 40, 60, whatever. I think the algorithm's changing. And it does make you think twice.
Yeah.
It makes you think and go, do people not like me anymore?
Yeah.
Am I not attractive anymore?
I was talking to Robbie about it.
Yeah.
I'll post a photo.
You got the ad going?
And I'll get 4 likes on it.
Really?
I
Right, so that I gotta go. I gotta go back and look at some of your pictures. That's
I'll get 4 likes, and I'll be like, But here's the thing: when I go out, I get head turns.
Of course you do.
So I guess maybe they don't want to tell me in person. I mean
On the internet.
On the internet, but I don't hear a lot of it anyway.
But some people have a different presence in person. Like I don't get a head turn at a bar at all. I'll get a head, right? Robbie, I'm a cognitive guy.
But see, let me ask you this. I bet you more people talk to you though. Like you'll get a head turn. You might not get the head turn, but you're gonna get someone to talk to. I'll get the head turn, but they're not gonna talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty approachable.
That's what I'm saying.
But online, I could definitely get a head turn because I could spit out, I'm a former dean. I'm writing this book. I get these things. I can craft myself, my image in a way that turns the head.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've always been able to do. Now I'm dating somebody very special, so I don't do that anymore. But that was what I used to be able to do. At a bar, all I got is what you see, right? So I can't really talk to you about how cool and smart I am.
Shots at the Trump.
Right. And all you're going to see is and I pretty much dress like this too at the bar. Like I'll wear a hoodie I'll put a sport coat on over it. I like to do that, like that SEO kind of startup look. And that's pretty much it. So I'm not really you're right. I'll get approached. People talk to me and maybe I'm misreading that. Maybe they're approaching me because they wanted to hit on me. Who knows? But I mean, you probably could. You should be approaching other people.
My confidence sucks. 2015, I approached 600 women. I got 2 phone numbers.
No way. 600.
600.
Really? That was your goal.
Like, two a day. 2 a day.
You got 2 phone numbers.
2 phone numbers. 2 a day.
Were they both real?
Were they both real?
Well, because sometimes they could be those numbers that, like,
I'll tell you this: the relationship didn't last longer than 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. Only girls I get that are ones that approach me. So, i.e., that's why I kind of like who like me.
We gotta work on this.
I'm telling you.
I think it's more on their insecurities.
I think so too. I think so too. Because you don't know.
I have never got a woman I've approached.
You are, because here's the thing. When I show you to my friends, I have a lot of female friends, just friends, and they think you're super attractive.
But here's the thing.
They probably are afraid of you.
I don't know.
They think you're too attractive for them.
I got a couple questions for you before we wrap up the show. So we talked about some insecurities by watching Instagram, which kind of alludes to self-doubt. I came across this. Mm-hmm. They said insecurities lead to procrastination.
Sure.
Could you see that?
I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, no, of course, because look, it's that same fixed mindset, right? Yeah, I could do it. I'm not going to do it right now. Right? Because here's the thing.
But is that insecurity or is that confidence?
No, that's insecurity. Because if you try and you fail, you know you couldn't do it and you'll try again. But if you don't want to fail, you just won't try. Because if I'll do this, like, for example.
No, okay. That's big right there. That was big.
We got to get Robbie on the show.
This is deep for me.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry, guys, by the way. I didn't know I was coming on camera. I would have done my
I didn't know I was going to.
Right? I should. But no, but here's the thing. I'll give you a great example. I run 2 magazines, and my sales team is kicking butt this week. And I have not been checking the bank account because I did not want to see if the sales came in. I checked the bank account today because I had to pay somebody. And I was like, some sales came in. Yeah. Right? But if I didn't check it, it wasn't real. Right. I didn't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Same thing when you procrastinate. If you don't think you can do something, but you're telling people you can, and you don't try, you still haven't lost. Mm-hmm. But if you lose in front of everybody, you lost it all.
Oh.
I can share a personal experience because I'm always procrastinating and posting stuff for like whatever acoustic covers, music covers.
Yeah, and you're pretty good, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like now that I have, it's like how do I keep it up? But it's like I don't want to keep going.
Yeah, we got to get you in my studio.
Ladies and gents. So today we were talking about supreme confidence. But before we have supreme confidence, we must get rid of all our insecurities, whether it came from your childhood, your upbringing, whether if you've been close to a person that has been super successful, or if you haven't been through enough relationships and your partner has had many, even if you're comparing yourself to a certain amount of people or what you see on Instagram, have some self-doubt, none of that is irrelevant to who you are today, because you are amazing. Number one, you're here for a reason, and know that everything that you touch will add value, and you're going to add value. So that's what we're here trying to do. Find your purpose, find your cause, know that you're one of one, and know that you're you. And as long as you keep thinking twice, you know the world's going to be a better place. I'm Mr. Twice. It's the Dean. This is Thinking Twice. I'm going solo network, man. Stay confident, stay humble, but also love yourself. Hey, we out of here. Love.
Stay safe.